It's here, the video you've all been waiting for. Writing prompts to help you create Instagram content in an hour. Yes, I've said it because I know that you watching this video, you are ready to kick procrastination to the curb. You're ready to be productive and to get some amazing content written down, some ideas brainstormed, and so that then you can go and turn those into amazing, engaging Instagram posts. But all you need are some writing prompts, and those are what I'm providing today. Hi, if you're new around here, I'm Bella Foxwell, an Instagram strategist and coach that has spent the last 5 years working with small business owners and content creators to build their communities on Instagram, grow their presence and grow their bottom line. And I drop a brand new video to YouTube every single week, all about Instagram marketing. So don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell button so you never miss a new video when it drops every single week. Now, before I jump into the writing prompts, I first wanted to give you a little bit of context as to where these writing prompts have come from. They aren't random writing prompts that I have pulled out of my backside or I have just found by Googling Instagram writing prompts. I actually have come up with these writing prompts based on a system, a proprietary system that I use that helps people create content that moves people through their Instagram sales funnel. In a nutshell, your Instagram sales funnel is the process by which you attract strangers to your Instagram account so that they become followers, and then you nurture them, you build relationships with them, you prove your authority to them through different types of content so that when you share content that is talking about your product or service and how they can buy from you, they are ready and excited to actually make that investment with you, to buy from you, to invest in you. Now, there are 4 kinds of content that you want to be sharing to move people through your sales funnel. And this is the content that I share in my proprietary SSSS method that I normally only share with my paying customers and clients. So you are very lucky. Let me give you a bit of context as to what those 4 SSSS content types are, and then we will jump into the writing prompts. So the first content type is shareable content. This really gets people into the top of your Instagram sales funnel. In other words, it gets people knowing that you exist, knowing that you are here in the world and that you have this brilliance to share. And the only way that they're going to know that is if they see a piece of content of yours that is sent to them by one of their friends or family members, or they see your content shared on one of the people's stories that they are following. Or if your hashtags are working really well and you're engaging with the right people, they may just see this piece of content in their explore feed. But really, the point of this piece of content is that you are going to create it so that it gets shared and so that it gets you in front of more of the right people. The second piece of SSSS content is soulful content. Now, this is designed to build relationships with your followers, to connect you, the person behind the account, to the people following you. Through this content, which is typically an image of the founder or the people behind the team, you share personal stories, experiences, and anecdotes, which really connects you to your audience and makes them feel as if they know you. Service content. Now, this kind of content is designed to be of service to your dream customers or clients. So the kind of content you can share that is service content would be informative or educational content, how-tos, tips and tricks, tutorials, but also myth busting and misconception busting, so that your audience is either helped in some way, you help give them some actionable steps or advice or lessons, or they walk away better informed about what it is that you do, better informed about your industry and the benefits of what you have to offer. Finally, sales content. So this is the content that actually convinces people that they have to take that next step with you, that they should be buying your product or products, or they should be investing in your services. The way that you get people taking this action is by sharing transformational stories, showing your audience how you have helped people like them get the results that they are looking for. Another way that you can share sales content is by busting objections. So really addressing head-on the thoughts that your dream customers and clients are having about why they shouldn't take that next step and saying, I see you, I hear you, this is what you're worrying about, and this is why you absolutely should take the next step, get over those objections, move them aside, and make room for transformation and results and change in your life. Okay, so now you better understand the 4 different types of content, how they move strangers and new followers through your Instagram sales funnel. Now we're going to talk about writing prompts. I am going to share writing prompts with you so that you can start brainstorming ideas that fit under each of these different types of content. So our first shareable writing prompts are: number one, what opinions, popular or unpopular, do you have about your industry? And number two, what are your brand beliefs or core values? So I'm going to show you a couple of examples on the screen now of shareable content. The first is from mindset and business coach Africa Brooke, and this is one of her really great shareable pieces of content. And it says, be careful who you look to for empowerment on social media. This is really shareable because in her space, in the coaching space, there is a lot of talk about empowerment. And there are quite a few very big online leaders in this space talking about empowerment. And Africa has looked around and has said, you really need to be careful. She's talking to her dream customers and clients. You really need to be careful about who it is that you are looking to for this empowerment. A lot of people may talk about it, and you need to think about who you're actually going to listen to. She elaborates on this in the caption when she says, I'm seeing generalizations and mantras that get eaten up by vulnerable people looking to have their beliefs validated, only to find themselves in a deeper state of confusion and separation from their self and others. So Africa has looked around, as I said, and she's seen something that she doesn't agree with, that she doesn't like happening in her industry, and she has created a piece of content around it. Now, another example of a shareable piece of content that actually responds to the second writing prompt about what are your core beliefs or brand values. This is from the sustainable fashion brand Natalia Official, and she says, don't compare your life to others. There's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. Now, generally speaking, shareable content is either relatable, controversial, humorous, or inspirational. And so content doesn't get shared. So when you're thinking about your shareable content, don't be afraid to be bold. If you want your content to be shared by more people, then it has to really strike a chord with people. It either has to make them laugh, it has to make them sit up and go, oh my God, that's me, she's reading my mind, or it has to be a little bit controversial, where you are saying something that some of your audience may not agree with. That is fine, because those are the people that you don't want to work with anyway. So my challenge to you, my rallying cry to you is, if you want to create shareable content, then really put a stake in the ground for what it is that you think and what it is you believe in, and don't be afraid to share that with your community. Now, if you're wondering what kind of content is a good format for shareable content, then for every kind of industry or niche, a text graphic tends to be the most shared piece of content. If you want to experiment with other kinds of content like memes or repurposed tweets, experiment with those as well. You've probably seen those in your own everyday life being shared on Instagram by other people. You know, you've seen them pop up on stories and in the explore page. So try those. But as I said, text graphics are really the most shareable kind of content, no matter the industry you're in. The next writing prompts are for soulful pieces of content. So the two that I have for you are: what mistakes have you made on your journey to where you are today, and how have you learned from them? And number two, what do you love about what you do? This is your opportunity to, really just talk about your business, what makes you tick, and be honest about the mistakes that you've made and how they've shaped you to become the person you are today. These writing prompts may or may not be, I was going to say they're probably some of the easiest writing prompts because they are about you, but for some people watching this video, they may be the hardest because you may not be used to talking about yourself or your business on a slightly more vulnerable personal level. So give it a go, pause this video if you need to, and start brainstorming answers to these two writing prompts. In terms of what kind of content will go along with the soulful content type, then either an image of you or an image of your other founders or your employees perhaps, or you could do an Instagram live or an IGTV to go along with these writing prompts as well. Even a reel, you could do a reel about some of your biggest mistakes and how really nothing is really a failure or a mistake because it helps you get to where you are today. So the third set of writing prompts is for the service content. The first writing prompt is: what mistakes do you see your ideal customer making again and again? And number two, what's one piece of value-packed content that you've created recently that you could repurpose? Now, really understanding where it is that your ideal customers are struggling and what is keeping them stuck is going to enable you to create content that helps them. This kind of content, this kind of informative, educational content is what generates loads of saves. So if you are struggling to think of ideas for this, just think of some of the basic areas that you see your ideal, your dream customers struggling in. It might be a confidence thing. It might be that they don't know how to do a certain thing that you could create a tutorial or a how-to post for. If it's confidence, it might be you sharing some words of wisdom. It might just be, a little bit of a pep talk with them that you share through a text graphic. Think about where and how your ideal customers are struggling. That will give you great answers to these writing prompts. The second writing prompt, which is repurposing a piece of content you've already created. The reason I've included this is because I don't want you reinventing the wheel every single time. So take a moment to pause and think about, have you created an email recently which included some really great advice? Have a look at your Instagram insights over the last 3 months. Were there any pieces of content there that resonated really well with your audience, that was informative or educational in some way, that you could turn into a different kind of content? You could turn it into an IGTV. You could elaborate more on that topic and turn it into a carousel. You could turn it into an Instagram live. You could make it into a reel. You could pull out, one point of a really lengthy caption you shared, and you could turn that into a short, action-packed 15-second reel. So go back, have a look at the other pieces of content you've created recently. Like I said, email, previous IG post, Facebook post, podcast episode, and see what nuggets of content and ideas you've already shared via those pieces of content that you could repurpose into a value-packed service post. Finally, the sales writing prompts. The first one, what results or transformation have you helped a client or customer achieve recently? And the second writing prompt, what are the benefits of working with you? So this is your opportunity to tell a client or customer story, to talk about the transformation and the results that you helped them achieve. You could share this through a carousel that has a mixture of video clips of your customer or client talking about the amazing product or service that you gave to them, that they worked through with you, or it could be snippets of DM messages that you've received, email messages you've received, testimonials. It could be just screen grabs of those shared through a text graphic, a carousel, an infographic. Or it could be an Instagram live where you hop on the live with one of your recent customers or clients and you talk to them about where they were struggling before they started working with you, what they experienced when they started working with you, the transformation that they saw, the results they saw, the mindset shifts they had, and why it was so amazing to work with you. You could have a live with them and then you could save that as an IGTV on your Instagram account. Sharing UGC, user-generated content, which is essentially content that your customers have created themselves and shared on their own accounts. You sharing that content on your own account is one of the best things you can do as a product-based business. It's going to give your followers who haven't yet bought from you the validation that they need, that they A, aren't the first buyer, which feels very risky to them, and B, it shows them just how amazing other people are looking, feeling, doing, using your products, and it shows them that they need to get their hands on that product as well. So definitely share content, user-generated content of your products being used by other people. Share that on your account as much as possible. In terms of the second writing prompt, what are the benefits of working with you? What is your USP? Maybe make a reel about this, or you could make a carousel, or you could just share a simple text graphic and elaborate in the caption below. But really talk about the unique features of your product or service to show people what makes you different from everybody else. Instagram is a saturated, cluttered place, and so being really explicit about what makes you different, what experience you have, what education you have, really telling people this, shouting it from the rooftops, is going to show them that you are the right person to work with or buy from. So that's it for this video. I really hope you found that helpful. I hope those writing prompts were useful for you. I really encourage you to just cycle back, rewind, pause, make notes, and just spend the next hour or the next kind of 40 minutes brainstorming as many answers as you can to those writing prompts. I promise you that you will walk away from this video with a whole bunch of ideas that you can then craft and refine and turn into actual, physical, tangible Instagram posts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe and bell button so you never miss a new video when it goes live every single week. Don't forget to get your hands on the free guide that I put together, which is a month worth of Instagram story ideas to skyrocket your engagement. It is totally free and packed full of prompts and scripts, so you never have to think about what you're going to share on Instagram stories again. And I will see you next week for a brand new video. Thank you for watching. Bye.